Hello YouTube, I'm back again. This is my third video. I don't think very many people watch my second video at all. Apparently kitchen knives are definitely not all the hype, but yeah, I can't say too many people watch my pocket knife video either, so there's that. But today we're going to be discussing pretty much the last part of my collection, which would be fixed blade knives. Got two different areas to cover. First is going to be utility knives. Mine is chisels. We may talk about tools later on down the line, and if we do talk about tools, I'll feature chisels in the tool video down the line or something like that. If we get into that, I'm not sure we will or not. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this first. We're going to talk about some utility blades that I have that are fixed blade knives. Excuse me, bird. Put you over here to the side. Most of these fixed blade knives are going to be Moras. I got a couple of different ones, but for my utility blades they are all going to be Moras, and these are going to be almost all the utility blades that I have for the moment. And I've got three different areas. This one here, let's talk about this one first. This is a Mora Craftline Top Q. And this is just a stainless steel blade. I think this is the second Mora knife I got. And I don't believe they're available anymore. I haven't seen them around anymore. I believe you can kind of find them on Amazon, but they're awfully expensive. Like right now I'm seeing them at like 60 bones, which is, yeah, you can get a Mora companion for a lot less than that. And I don't feel the value is really there at 60 bones. I definitely didn't pay that. I paid closer to like 15 to 20 or something like that. But it's a stainless steel blade, clip point, Scandi grind, extremely sharp, durable. It's got a decently thick blade stock, not overly thick. It's definitely not 3/16, but it's thick enough where I'm alright with using it for hard use cutting tasks for sure, even batoning with it if I had to. This one lives in my truck. It also comes with me when I go fishing because it's stainless steel, and I live next to the coast, the Gulf Coast, and when we go out there the water gets really salty. This next one that we're going to talk about I just purchased, and this one I plan on putting into my tool kit, and this is a Mora Craftline Carpenter Chisel. It's got a really sharp chisel grind on here. This whole back here is flat. It comes down to a chisel grind as opposed to, excuse me just a second, thank you. This one right here, as you can see, this is ground on both sides. This is Scandi grind. So that's the difference between the two. I plan on keeping this one in my utility belt. I think it's going to really come handy, or my tool belt. I really think it's going to come in handy when I'm working with construction and doing stuff like that. This last one right here is more of a specialty blade. I got it because I was building a little bar that was mobile, and it had to have some handles on it, and I used this to carve the handles out of there. And I've used it on a couple other handle projects that I've had. And it's also got a Scandi grind on there. I think I would prefer this in more of a chisel grind, to tell you the truth, but it works well for what it is. These right here can be had for about 25 to 30 bones. Not bad at all for a little traditional kind of a draw knife, really. So those are my three utility blades minus my chisels. Like I said, if we get into tools on this channel, then we'll definitely talk about some chisels. Or if y'all want to see the chisels, let me know down below. I'll bring them out. So we're going to move into my next set of fixed blade knives here. And this first one is going to be a little bit on the smaller side, but it's what I'd rather bring into the woods than a folding knife. This is going to be a little Benchmade Hidden Canyon in S30V Kydex sheath. scout carry. Carry this one on my left side, cross draw. This is mainly used for food prep around the campfire, and I don't use it that often at all. It mainly lives in this sheath, to tell you the truth, but it's there for food prep if I need it, and it works really well for that. It's also a backup blade if I ever got into a survival situation. It's full tang, got a nice decent blade stock on there, full flat ground. Yeah, if I had to rely on this knife, I would rather rely on this knife than a folding knife any day of the week. There's no moving parts there. I mean, as much as I like my folding knives, the fact of the matter is this is going to fail, or it's going to need maintenance. Whereas this one is, as long as I keep the blade clean and dry, it's going to be alright. There's going to be no maintenance really involved inside of keeping it clean and dry. So for my main blades and camping, I tend to prefer about a 4 to 5 inch blade, about 4.5, kind of being my sweet spot. And we're going to be looking here at my Mora knives. First one is going to be, these are all going to be carried on my right hand side, just like that. And then I got my Benchmade over here in my cross draw fashion. So this is going to be my oldest one. This is the first fixed blade I ever bought, and this is a Mora Companion. Got the gray and the black. Some FRN with a rubber overmolding type handle. These are not full tang knives, but again, I'm not out there trying to abuse this knife either. I guess I could make a YouTube video and baton through a bunch of wood and stuff like that, but I watched that drunk over there on Advanced Knife Guy, and he didn't get very many views, and he batoned his knives through all kinds of stuff. So I don't feel it really necessary to make a video batoning anything, to tell you the truth. Especially when I don't see the point in batoning my knives anyway. We'll get to that a little later on in this video after we go through the knives we got sitting up here. So the next one is my Mora Bushcraft Black. I got this one probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and ever since I got that, this has really replaced the Companion. I really like the way this feels in the hand. It feels really good. I normally don't like a knife that's got the finger grooves and stuff in it, but this one it fits just right. Like, even in the pinch grip, it just feels good. This is a good solid outdoor knife. And so usually this knife and my Benchmade are the ones that are on me. This last knife is another $100 knife, and I really don't carry this into the woods either. This is a Pathfinder PKS Kephart. I don't believe that these are available. I believe these are a custom made knife. I know he's got some knives up on there right now. I want to say this one cost me around 100 bones, which isn't too bad. The construction is pretty decent on it. It's got a really sharp 90-degree spine. I'm able to process kindling and stuff like that really well with it. It strikes ferro rod really well. The grind is a little interesting. If you look here, it does have a curve right here, but it's almost like it's angled a curve, like it's almost a Tonto style blade. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But the grinds are really nice, and the handle's really comfortable. Nice neutral handle, fills the hand well, no hot spots. The ergonomics are great, feels good in a pinch grip. It's a nice knife. One day I'll get brave enough to take it into the woods and actually use it. So for now, these two are the ones that usually go with me on my camping trips. Let's talk about that real quick before we get into that next. The reason I know these knives can baton because I've seen it on YouTube. And if I ever get into a situation where I lose my axe, or I lose my saw, and I have to baton through some woods, I know these knives, including this little Benchmade over here, is going to be alright, and they're going to take care of the job for me. But on an everyday day-to-day basis, I don't practice batoning through wood. Maybe I should, but it's not really. It's just beating on the end of my knife with a piece of wood or a rubber mallet or something like that. It doesn't seem like it's something that requires a lot of skill, and it's a learning curve that I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to get over quite quickly in the woods if I ever have to learn that skill. I know the concept of batoning through wood and everything, and if I do lose my axe and my saw and I have to do so, process some firewood, then okay. By the way, that was this right here is a Wetterlings. It's a Wetterlings hunting axe, I believe. Genuine hickory handle, beautiful blade. But yeah, that's what I would bring into the woods, or what I do bring into the woods, I should say, when I'm able to get out camping. And of course, we showed you on my last video, we showed you my old hickory by Ontario that lives in my car camping kitchen kit. 7.5-inch blade. I'd baton with that too if I had to. But again, I'm not trying to get a video made about batoning. And then you got your Bahco Laplander push button folding type saw. I haven't been able to use this one yet. Normally I use I purchased this one a few years back, but I haven't been doing a lot of camping lately, so it hasn't gone out into the woods with me. I normally use this folding aluminum buck saw when I go out in the woods. It's got a couple of blades that live in the handle. I got a really coarse one and a really fine one for different type of task work. And it just kind of folds down. The handles fold all the way around and lock into place. And it folds back up, so it's kind of a smaller package. So that's usually what I'll take into the woods with me. In addition to these two knives, usually my Benchmade and my more Bushcraft Black, which is my heaviest used camping knife, to tell you the truth nowadays. Is it heavier used than the Companion? Probably not yet, but it's getting close. It's getting close. I've had the Companion a little bit longer, and I did a lot more camping when I was a little bit younger. Alright, let's see, we got one more knife to talk about. This is just a collection knife. I got this from my mother-in-law. It's a pair of skinning knives, bone handles, leather sheath, which has been laced together with leather ties. Kind of different than what you see nowadays. You pull this first little skinning knife out, and you see it's just a little blade. It's got a lot of belly to it. Clip point Bowie style blade. Brass bolsters, bone handle. It's been etched or engraved somehow. Either a turkey or a pheasant. I'm not 100% sure what that is. More of a fisherman than a hunter. Sorry about that. Hunters. And then the second blade in here is a huge skinning blade. Sharpened on both sides. I'm not sure what the steel is, but I wish they would have marked the steel on here somewhere, what the steel was. But I do like the fact that both of these blades are sterile and don't have any markings on them whatsoever. However, I wish there would have been some kind of a maker's mark on the bolster here at the end, or on the handle, or just somewhere here telling me where it was made and who made it. Because I really don't have any, except for this little KA right here by the deer etching, and the same thing here. Let's see if I can get it out of that shadow. There you go. I think that's a KA next to the pheasant there. I don't know who they're made by. I don't know who they're for. So, but anyway, those are my knives. That's pretty much my entire collection, with the exception of about 6 different of my folding pocket knives. I got an idea for a video coming up pretty soon. I'll show you those 6 when we post that video. Well, that's the last of my knife collection. I hope that kind of gives you an idea and why I tend to prefer a smaller pocket knife like this Ontario Rat number 1 here. It's around a 3-inch size blade, smaller handle. Again, because this is just a light deuce tool to me. I have kitchen blades, I have utility blades, I have camping blades, outdoor fixed blades. Yes, it is nice to have a bigger blade like this on you, like your Kershaw Link here. Excuse me, not Leak. Link here. But for the amount of real estate that it takes up in my pocket, it's just not practical. So therefore, these are the practical pocket knives that I'm going to carry and use and mostly talk about in my videos. We might get into some of these bigger ones if you want to, we'll see. But for the most part, it's going to be like the little Ontario Rat number 1 here that will be featured in knife videos, or fixed blades like the fixed blades that I show, a lot of Mora knives. We'll be looking at my kitchen knives, which I like Victorinox. I like the Update knives because that's what they carry in the stores around here. If they stop carrying those in the restaurant supply stores, then I'll switch to whatever they carry in the restaurant supply stores, because I know for the most part they're going to be pretty good, decent ergonomic knives that are going to be a good value and work well in the kitchen. They'll take a nice edge and hold it for at least a day or so so I can get my cutting task done and get my job done and move on to my next task. And I can resharpen that at night while I'm watching TV and rehone it and put the edge back on it, and that way it's ready and good to go for the next day. So that's why I like the knives that I like, as far as kitchen knives go, as far as folding knives go, as far as camp knives go, utility knives. As a matter of fact, I was kind of thinking about this. I don't have any paring knives in my kit. However, I do cut up a lot of fruit with my folding knives, mostly because fruit's brought to me by my nieces and nephews, and we're sitting out back or sitting in the living room or something like that, and I'm lazy. I just don't want to get up in the kitchen and go find a knife. So I'm going to just reach into my pocket and pull out the one that's available, which is something like this, which again is being used as a paring knife in that instant, and it works extremely well for a paring knife. So if you want to say that I carry a paring knife in my pocket, you're more than welcome to, because I kind of feel like almost that's what this is intended for, other than the other small cutting tasks like opening packages and stuff like that that I intend to use it for and do use it for. So, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this video this evening. I don't really have too much else to say. Last little part was just a little bit of a ramble. Sorry about that if it kind of went off in a few different directions there. That's what happens in the mind of an ADD person, and just kind of is what it is. So folks, until next time, I hope you all have a great evening and take it easy. We'll see you on the next video.